Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Samuel Boubaous. He's the founder of Wealth Consulting, and we learn how entrepreneurs can protect and grow their wealth globally. Welcome to the show, Samuel.
Hello, and thank you for having me here today.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form, Samuel. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. As said, we'll be talking about how one can grow their wealth globally, protect and grow their wealth globally. But before we come to this, let's understand a bit about your journey, about your background, so that the audience knows a little bit more about you through you itself.
Yes, for sure. So I grew up in Germany. I have a mixed background. I'm like half Moroccan, half Italian. And I started in Germany in a small village, started to build my businesses from zero, basically, already when I was in school. I became, like, let's say, a little bit successful when I was 19 years old. And when I was 19, end of 19, almost 20, it was the first time where I, let's say, suffered from the European government because I thought I made it already. I was quite successful. And then I got a huge tax bill that I needed to pay. And I did basically everything wrong related to accounting, paying taxes. And at this time, I felt that I got treated really badly from the government in Germany. And I thought, okay, I get treated bad. People are jealous. Everything is against me in this system. But this can't be everywhere. And so I started to travel around the world to learn what's actually possible and in which countries I can save taxes, in which countries I get treated better, in which countries I can hire the employees that I want and not where the government is telling me who I need to hire. And that's how I traveled around the world. And I realized that it's not good to be focused only on one jurisdiction because we live in a world where everything is changing. We have wars, we have governments who can be against you. And I mean, now I'm mostly headquartered here in the UAE and I have a lot of assets here and companies here. But also, as you already see, I have some other flags. I have companies in the US, assets in the US, banking in Singapore, and a lot of other places around the world. Because if you have a lot of wealth and you build all these things, you need to protect yourself. And the worst thing that you can do is to just have everything in one country. Nothing is protected under a trust because this is how people will attack you sooner or earlier. And this was my journey. I've built e-commerce businesses around the world. That's how I learned these things because I had to set up companies in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia. I had to get payment processing. I had to get good banking. And later on, I had to buy assets and get residency multiple places. So I went through all this process. During this period, I was always disappointed because I couldn't find somebody who really guided me through this. So this was a lot of trial and error for 10 years. And that's why I, over the years, decided to just build my own infrastructure with my own team. And that's what we are doing here with Wealth Consulting.
Right, Samuel. So you have got that wherewithal with you. You are able to still, move from one place to another. Obviously with difficulty, but still you have been able to. That's a lot of to your credit that you have been able to. But not every entrepreneur is as big as yours, and they may still want to, uh, look at other places. What are the major challenges that you faced? What are the major challenges that one can face if they are moving beyond their, say, country of origin, want to expand a bit more into the international waters?
So my opinion, because as I told you, I started from zero, 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 and I've built everything over the years with a lot of hard work, with failing, and I think there's no other way as an entrepreneur than expanding. So this system, I started with business in online marketing, and at this time, people were selling this dream. This 4-hour work week 10, 15 years ago was really famous. Have an online business, travel around the world. The problem is these things are not sustainable because you can't earn a little bit of money and expect that this will always work forever. There will come a point where another person comes, competition comes, and will beat you, and then this business is gone and you have nothing anymore. So the only option that you have is expanding non-stop, because in business we are basically playing a game, and you should only play a game if you're willing to win this game. And that's my opinion overall. So there are a lot of issues that you face over the years. I mean, I can give you a list of 1,000 problems that I had over the years, of course, depending on in which period you are right now. I think if you are at the beginning, until you make 100,000 in revenue, because everything until then is not a real business, in my opinion, you should just focus, completely stay laser beam focused. You should avoid to have unnecessary expenses. And then after that, once you become a real entrepreneur with a lot of employees, then you have other issues that you face. Then you have maybe banking issues, tax issues, payment processing issues. You have issues with hiring the right people, with building systems, with scaling. So the issues really depend on where you are right now, the stage that you're in.
Right, the stage. So tell us a bit about your business. You are the founder and owner of Wealth Consulting, but are there other businesses that you are running at the moment?
Yes, so Wealth Consulting is only the brand. We have the consulting company, but overall we are Wealth Group. So we have Wealth Estate, we are real estate brokerage, we have Wealth Corporate, we do company setups, give residency and open bank accounts. Then we have Wealth Accounting, the accounting company. Then we have now Wealth Management Company. So we are a whole group, but the main brand is Wealth Consulting, because this is the part where we need to start, right? Because based on your questions, you see it's hard to answer, what's the main problem, what's the main solution. It depends on where a person is right now. And that's why we always start first with our clients with a consultation, and then we work with them for a period of time, talk to tax lawyers, to business guys, to find a solution for them. And only then we start with the other companies. Then, of course, I have e-commerce companies. We do partnerships with our clients. We have private processing, a payment processing company. So a lot of different companies, but they are at the end one. It's not that I have some random companies, one juice company there, one other factory there. It's all connected, because I have my e-commerce companies, and there we have manufacturing, but it's all related. And because of these companies, I have the experience to actually do Wealth Consulting and Wealth Corporate, because I went through all these processes. So I see it as two company groups at the end of the day: e-commerce and Wealth Group.
Absolutely, absolutely, Samuel. So I want to understand, and come to the grow and wealth, protect your wealth part. Is that you talk about, escaping the West before it's too late? Why this disenchantment with the West? I want to understand. This is the issue, a lot of people would want to understand.
Understand, yeah, it depends on where you're from, right? Because depending on where you grew up, you have a completely different narrative of the world and a different dream which is sold to you, right? So if I'm in the US, there are enough people who say I want to leave the US. If you are in other parts around the world, they think America is the dream. The same as in people in Europe. You can see even on YouTube, it's a trend in the last years, leave the West, leave the West. If you ask people who are not from Europe, for them, it's a dream to move to Europe. So it always depends on where you are and what you think it's true. But I think the only way to really realize this is to be able to travel and to see these places. In the West is the issue, it's a brand, right? The same like the US is also a brand. Because these were the greatest countries on earth, probably 30, 50, 100 years ago, because compared to other countries at this time, there was no comparison. And they still have this brand. But if you actually look at the reality, let's say for people from India, in Europe, they can't do much, and I can't do much because you have 50% taxes. Everything in the system is against you. Look at these governments in which direction they develop. Nothing works anymore. And if you are placed like here in the UAE, they don't make any stupid laws and rules against you, because these are countries which are developing right now. These are the countries which have the future. These are the countries where you can set up a company, have a very friendly government. Only today, because we are here at the Emirates Towers, where all the government is, and today were the sheikhs, they were here in the building. So you're close to the government which is trying to do everything to improve the country, to make you succeed, while in Europe it's the opposite. Nobody wants there that you succeed. They have completely different issues. So there's absolutely no value in the West besides of having a stable job. So if a person wants to have a stable job, and then they can work in Europe, that's still fine. But for doing business, definitely not.
Absolutely. So now let's understand about growing and protecting wealth. The first is the protecting part. A lot of people go from one place to another, seek residency and whatever it is that they have. But to understand anyone who is new to this, people who have some, say, money from business, from any startup, selling, acquiring, and or maybe inheritance money, and they want to settle somewhere else in terms of doing business. In terms of protecting their wealth, whatever they have got, what is it that they should do? You talk about ultimate wealth protection steps. What are some of the steps that someone can take if they are moving from their home country to another country for whatever reasons?
So I think in the long run, I always look at like US, Europe, Middle East, Asia. And I always think the best solution is to try, I call it to plant a flag like in every jurisdiction around the world, especially in this four, because these are separate parts of the world. Planting a flag can be to get residency there, or to just open a bank account there, or to set up a company there, or to buy something there. And then you're diversified. And like I said, the issue is, let's say you live in India, have your business in India, and now somebody in India makes a lawsuit against you. It's very easy to take everything from you because you're vulnerable. I had the same issue in Germany. But let's say now, instead of working with my German company, I have a US company. Now they should try to do a lawsuit against my US LLC, which is completely anonymous, where they don't even know that I'm the shareholder. It's already almost impossible. So now, with one simple change, they can't like threaten me anymore because I'm in a different jurisdiction. And now imagine I have the US LLC, which is anonymous, and I also don't live in Germany. I live in the Middle East, and I have my banking somewhere else. It makes you completely protected. So it really depends on the client. For many people, we just set up a US LLC for them, especially for young people who do e-commerce, trading, because US LLCs are easy, cheap, fast, and you can do almost everything with them. I think getting residency in the UAE is a great option because it's probably the best country in the world to get residency. And if you have more wealth, then normally our clients set up a trust in the US or a foundation in the UAE, because these are basically separate entities. You can see a company and a trust and a foundation as a separate person. So, and the separate person now is holding your assets, and this gives you full protection.
Right. So all these steps you said, having another company anywhere, and your home country people or wherever, they will not come to know about that. Is it all legal? Or because if they ask you about the details and you hide something, that could be illegal. How does that work?
Yeah, so everything that I'm telling you today is completely legal. So what we do, and that's what I try to explain, we start with wealth consulting, which means we have international tax advisors, we have the experts, and we, with our companies, we are certified, of course. For example, wealth corporate service provider means we are from the UAE licensed and controlled as a corporate service provider. With a real estate company, every transaction is controlled, so we can't come up with some random schemes, and everything that we do is approved, and you get it approved from even tax advisors. For example, you get, for example, the zero tax residency certificate here in the UAE. You have the tax advisors who have the liability for you. You don't have the liability. So it's all approved. And these are all things where you don't need to do something illegal, because you see the whole world behind me is it's your playground, and you have a lot of different options. And we live in a world right now where countries need to compete for you. If you're a business owner and you're building something and you want to invest and you want to hire people, create jobs, the countries need to compete for you. Because if your country is bad, like Germany was bad to me and our clients, we just move to the UAE, who's treating us much better. So yes, everything that we are telling you is legal, and that's why we work, with our experts.
Right. So this was the wealth protection part, that you have got enough. Now you want to save it from whatever legal ways, that is there. And because different places have different ways of looking at taxation and all other things, which I do not know because I do not have the money, so I do not have to worry. That is also a very safe situation to be in. I'm only a content creator, a journalist, that you can see. Now I want to understand then growing the money that you have got, growing your wealth. Is that a different system altogether that one has to adopt? Because one is the protection part, one is the growing part. Are they have to different ways to look at it?
So at the same, on the one hand, the system that I explained you, they go hand in hand, because you need to see that the people that work with us, they are not satisfied. So at the same time, where they protect their assets, that's why we say grow and protect your wealth. At the same time, they try to do more and more and more. And this structures, let's say, a US LLC, you use it for asset protection, but you also use it for your business to grow your business because it's a good setup. But of course, it's two different mindsets: to start something, to grow something, and later on to protect it. And a lot of people, because they grew up with nothing, right? Because and also here in Dubai, it's like many people look for excuses. If you look at most of our clients, everybody started from zero. The issue is sometimes because you came from zero and now you have these things, it's easy to go back to default because you're still not used to it. It's easy to do mistakes, to lose everything. So a lot of people make a lot of money and they do one or two or three mistakes and they lose this wealth. Also because of emotions, because many things that you can do wrong. So overall, yes, these are two different things, because on the one hand, just building wealth, you can work hard, build the right business, while protecting, it's not about hustling 24/7. It's more about staying cold with your emotions and doing the right decisions. And that's it basically. So the investment part, the protecting part, is more about right decisions and emotional stability. And especially growing wealth part from zero, it's a lot about hard work and finding the right business opportunities and building the right infrastructure.
Right. So when we look at protecting wealth and growing your wealth, if these are two different things, so then that is why people choose one country for protecting the wealth and another country to grow their wealth. Ah, and that is where these safe havens and tax havens, that those things come in. This is again a lot of uh, controversy that can get created, even if it is legal. In terms of is there are there places where both the things are the same? Protecting is also good, and in terms of growing the wealth, that is also. Earlier, people used to think, okay, West is good, but then US is good. But now, as you said, it's escape the West before it's too late.
Yes, it's right. Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities around the world. For example, when I was younger, for example, for some time I lived in Thailand. Thailand is also great. It's much cheaper than the UAE, and you can get a Thai LTR visa and also live tax free there. And the government is not really interrupting with things that you are doing. And like I said, to to set up a company in the US, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong online is not that expensive. So all of these countries overall are really friendly for both, I would say. So we have here US, we have UAE, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, we have Switzerland. All these places have different strengths and weaknesses, but these are overall great countries that we recommend more or less for both. And when it comes to that, it's controversial. I mean, for me personally, it's more controversial that you need to pay 50% taxes in Europe, and these people invested into wars, and you see this news every day, and you see people are dying, and you know this is only financed by taxpayers, by nobody else, and you see the wars that are happening are nothing but a money laundering scheme where they take taxpayer money, fund wars, and then this money goes back to BlackRock, investment funds, weapon suppliers, and these are things that I personally don't want to support. So for me, I have the opinion that it's more even responsibility to not pay taxes for these things. And there's a reason why mostly in Muslim countries, like income tax, for example, was usually not allowed, because excessive taxes to a government which is not controlled, which is financed by a lot of negative entities, it doesn't bring anything good to the world, honestly. So if you want to pay taxes, it's fine. Now you also have some taxes in the UAE, but you should choose a government where you can agree with them, where you can agree that they do something good with this taxpayer money instead of just funding wars, negative propaganda. Yeah, that's my opinion on this topic.
Right, right, Samuel. So, uh, where do you get most of your clients? What is it that they want from you? Take your help nowadays.
So most clients are either referrals or from social media or from ads or from affiliates. So the best way is in the long run to get clients for every business through every single way, basically.
Any particular country? Do you get clients from India also?
Yeah, a little bit. Right now, we have a lot of people from UK and Netherlands. Like you said, a lot of people want to leave the West right now. So it's to some degree maybe a movement or a trend, because I have this narrative since many years to say to leave the West and everything is getting worse. And every week something is happening which proves this, basically. So this is right now the situation. But overall, we have clients from all over the world. And I mean, the UAE is a neutral place where people from all over the world move. And the things that I promote are available to everybody around the world. There's almost no restriction independent of your nationality. You can do the same businesses, the same investments, you have the same possibilities. As long as you speak English, you have the same possibilities nowadays. It's true, because it's my opinion, it's independent if you're from the US or Europe or from India, because from India we have enough billionaires here in the UAE who grew up in a slum and now they are billionaire here. So it makes things harder, of course, because I know how it is. If you start from zero, you don't have any money to invest, so you see business opportunities and you just can't do them, because you can't just call somebody and say, hey, can you give me please $100 million? But in the long run, if you build the right connections and if you speak English and if you follow the script, you have the same possibilities nowadays. It's maybe harder in the beginning, but you also have the advantage that you're more hardened and not as soft as the people who already got these things from the beginning. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which nationality you have, it's all possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people are going for Dubai. Earlier, it should be shopping. Now for businesses, and now a lot of creators are also going to Dubai. If I understand, there's this big event coming up very soon. I read it one of the places. I can't remember the name of it, but a lot of creators perhaps will be landing soon in Dubai. Be that as it may, Sambal, a lot of people who would want to understand so much more from you about all these things, want to be your client, take your advice in all the things that you do. What is the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, so you see the company name here. This is also our website, wealthconsulting.com. So very simple. We have a YouTube channel with the same name, Wealth Consulting. I also have a vlog channel with my name, Samuel Aziz Boubaous. So it's very easy to find me on YouTube and through our website. The people who want to consume the content can watch the YouTube channels. The people who want to become a client can just book a call at wealthconsulting.com. Then they will speak with our team, and then we can see if they fit as a client.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. And yeah, it was great.